really hope my butt doesn't get tired because I'm not moving from this spot for like the next 2 hours. Hey guys, it's V. I'm so excited to film this video for you guys. You guys really liked my Shea Moisture foundation video, so if there's a new foundation that I'm interested in trying, I'm just gonna do it because, I don't know, I need to branch out in my life and my makeup world. So I saw this on Instagram, on Hard Candy's Instagram, and they announced this and I was so down to try it. These are the new Hard Candy Glamoflauge Mix In Pigment Makeup Drops, and I don't know, they look a little something like the Cover FX makeup drops to me. I've never personally tried those, but that's why I was so excited to try these, because I've always wanted to try the Cover FX, but they're like $40 something. This was $7. It's only available at Walmart because Hard Candy is a Walmart exclusive brand, and you get 0.5 fluid ounces inside of here. I'll go ahead and show you guys here a picture of the display from the Walmart that I ended up purchasing these at. So they have this in 12 different colors, which is actually pretty decent for a drugstore foundation range. I feel like a lot of drugstore foundations are like, I don't know, we get 2 light shades, 2 medium shades, and 2 dark shades, and you guys can just figure it out from there. But they do have 12 different shades, and so I'm really excited to try these out. I ended up getting Fair 1 because I am a fair one, if you know what I mean. I am obviously very fair, so I wanted to get the lightest shade possible. It looks like it's gonna be a pretty light shade. I don't know, it doesn't look as light as other foundations I've, you know, matched to my skin tone, but we're gonna see how well this matches. So this is so new. They just announced it a couple days on Instagram, so this is so new. They don't even really have anything on the internet about it yet. It's not on Walmart's website as of like earlier this morning when I checked, so I am super excited to try this. I'm just gonna read you guys what it says on the back here. It says, foundation drops, pigment packed liquid drops that allow you to transform any primer, moisturizer, or foundation for coverage or shade. Squeeze the dropper and add drops to any daily moisturizer or primer to create a custom foundation. The more drops you add, the higher the coverage. You can also add light or dark drops to any liquid makeup to custom match your skin tone. Shake well before use. So basically what this is saying is pretty much the same thing as the custom cover drops from Cover FX. You can put this into a foundation to make it lighter or darker, or you can mix it in with moisturizer or primer to kind of get like a custom foundation. If you really like the finish of a primer, then you can get that with coverage as well. So I'm super stoked to try this out. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in and we're going to get into this demo. So my face is fresh and clean with nothing on it. As you guys can see, I do have a couple of blemishes and things like that to cover. I've got freckles, I've got redness, I've got discoloration, you know, I've pretty much got it all. So I feel like I'm a good candidate to test this out. I do have combination dry, oily, all kinds of skin. Usually like my whole face is pretty dry, but my nose and my forehead and the tops of my cheeks can get pretty oily sometimes. So yeah, that's the type of skin I have. If you guys have similar skin to that, this is how this is gonna work on you. If you don't, I don't personally know, but we will see by the end of the day how this ends up working out. So it says on here to shake well before using, so we are going to give it a good shake. Give it a good metro station shake it. It sounds very liquidy. Don't know if you guys can hear that in there, but I'm just going to take off this safety seal. How am I going to remember to shake well because it says it on the sticker? So like I said, I did get the Fair 1 shade, so I haven't even opened this or anything, so I'm excited to see how the like packaging is. It looks like it's just got a little basic dropper here. This is so weird. I'm so excited to try this out. Okay, so yeah, just a basic dropper. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it on my hand for you guys so we can see what just this color looks like, see if it'll be a good match for me. Fingers crossed that it is. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It looks like it'll be a good match for me, I think. It's looking a little bit on the yellowy side, but I think that it'll be fine. Yeah, once you mix it in. I mean, it might even be a little light for me, but it could oxidize throughout the day, so that's something that we're gonna figure out together. But yeah, I think that color match looks pretty good. Coverage wise, it's looking pretty good as well. As you guys can see on my hand, it definitely made it brighter, that's for sure. So I am going to test this out mixed in with a primer today because I'm really interested to see how that works. I don't usually like mix primers in with any of my foundations. I just slap the primer on and then put foundation on, but we're gonna try something new today. So I brought 2 different primers to mix this in with and see which one I like better to put on my face. I brought the NYX Hydra Touch primer. I've been loving this. I think I got it in July or something like that. I've been using it every day. I really, really like it. And I also brought the Becca Backlight Priming Filter to try as well. This is just a little sample size, but I thought I would try it with a luminous one and then kind of a more matte one. This one dries very, very matte and like kind of sticky so that it helps foundation to stick on. So I'm hoping that maybe that'll help, but we'll see what it looks like once I mix them together and we'll see what I end up liking better. I also brought 2 different methods of application. I brought the Real Techniques Miracle Blending Sponge and the sculpting, I don't know what this one is. I think it's the buffing brush from Real Techniques as well. I never use a brush to apply foundation anymore, but just in case I don't like how it's applying with the sponge, I brought this just in case to see. So I'm going to start out with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter and see how that goes. I'm just going to take a little poop of that, put that on my hand. Hello, Peep. Please don't clean yourself behind me again. Going up on the windowsill. Okay, so then I'm just going to take, I think I'm just going to do like 2 drops of the Cover FX. It's not Cover FX. What am I saying? Of the Hard Candy Mix In Pigment Drops. I'm already saying Cover FX like this is Cover FX and it's not. I can imagine that this can be very, very messy though. I know that Sam has tried the Cover FX and she said that her packaging gets so gunked up and messy. So I think I'm going to start out with 2 drops. I don't know. Let's do 3. Let's just party, you know? Ooh, that doesn't look like it's mixing very well. I don't know. It doesn't look like those are wanting to mix together. I don't think that those are gonna mix. Well, let's hope the next one does. Yeah, no. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's like separating. So it's really not wanting to mix on my hand together. So that's a no. I'm gonna wipe that off. Okay, let's try this with the NYX Hydra Touch Primer. Maybe it'll mix better with that. If not, then I'm gonna just put it straight on my face without mixing it with anything. So I'm gonna poop out some of this. This one is like a clear color. Once you start mixing it in, it's not white or anything. So let's mix it in with a couple of drops. I did right about 3 drops. Let's see if this mixes. Definitely is mixing a lot better than the other one. Okay, so I think we're gonna be good. Okay, so that's what it looks like all mixed together. That one definitely mixed very, very well. So I'm excited to see how this looks. I'm gonna do one side of my face and we can see what's going on. I think I'll start with this one. Why is there glitter on my face? I don't know, this is feeling really weird. I feel like it's not gonna have the coverage that I want, but we're gonna try it, we're gonna see. Okay, so that's how it looks blended with the sponge, kind of mixed together on my face. I don't know, I feel like it didn't give me nearly as much coverage as I usually like on my face. It definitely like evened out my skin tone and kind of got rid of a little bit of redness and discoloration, but I mean, you can still see like acne and stuff like that down here. So I think I'm just gonna take a couple of just the drops on their own and try and put that on top of it and see what it looks like. I'm just gonna dab with my sponge here, see what we can get. Oh yeah. Much more coverage. That is so much better. Oh my gosh, it's looking like super, super pale on me. But I think that's good because my body is super, super pale. So it may look super pale, but I think that's just because it's covering so much redness. If you know what I mean? Because I do have a lot of redness to my skin, as you guys can see here, and just like discoloration from getting sunburned too many times in my life. I made that mistake before I realized how detrimental it was. Definitely think by themselves is much better. But hey, at least I have a primer underneath, so that's good. Yeah, that coverage is much, much better for me. I definitely like that a lot more. I do think that it kind of accentuated my nose pores a little bit. I'm gonna zoom you guys in just a little bit more so you can kind of see. But you can definitely see all the pores on my nose, but I didn't use a smoothing primer underneath this, which I usually do, so you can still see those. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I mean, look at that difference. That's pretty crazy. I think I'm gonna use the brush for the other side of application. I'm gonna start the same way. I'm gonna take some of the Hydra Touch primer and then mix it with some of the drops and then put some drops on top if I need to. And if it gets too streaky or anything, which is usually why I don't apply with a brush, then I will blend it out with a beauty blender or blending sponge type thing. So I'd have to say with this first layer, it definitely looks about the same. It doesn't really look streaky, which is nice, but I feel like the brush kind of like soaked up some of the product and it really doesn't have much coverage. So I'm gonna go in with the drops next and see what I can do. Whoa, that is looking horrible. Can you guys see that? This side does not look like that. I'm gonna get close. Look at this. What is happening here? Okay, let's try and get the sponge in on this. So brush, no. Sponge, maybe, because that fixed that. I don't know what was happening there, but it was like streaky and like rubbing it off. I don't even know. Okay, yeah, that is much better now that I blended it out with the sponge. Brush was not a good idea. Not a good idea, but here's what it looks like so you guys can see it. And I think that coverage wise it's pretty good when you use just the drops. If you mix it in with a primer, you're gonna get a lighter coverage, but that's kind of to be expected because these are like pigment drops, so obviously they're gonna have more pigment if you just use the pigment drops. But yeah, I think so far it doesn't look very cakey or anything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and set it real quick with some powder. I'm gonna use the Revlon Color Stay powder in the shade 810 Fair and this Morphe E41 brush. It did have a slightly dewy finish before I set this, as you guys could see. Like it was a little bit dewy, but it was pretty mattifying. Okay, so it is all set now. Now I will show you guys on my chin here. I'll get a little bit closer. You can see there's a little bit of dryness going on there, but it really doesn't accentuate it as much as other foundations I've tried have. So it's pretty good actually. I'm like pretty impressed with this so far for it only being $7. This is looking good. So I'm gonna zoom you guys out just a little bit. I just started my brows and realized that I did not tell you guys what time it was. So right now, because it's gonna take me a minute to get my makeup all done. So right now it is currently 1:35 p.m. and I will check back in with you guys when I get done putting all of my makeup on. So with the magical power of YouTube, I will be back here in a second with all of my makeup on. Ta-da! And I'm back. Also with a cat. How did I do it? Nobody knows. The fact that it's like an hour later is how I did it. Just to let you in on the secret. And I know, holy lashes, these are some crazy lashes. I'm filming another video today on the Sephora Favorites Extravagant Eyes set, so that will be up. I think it'll be up after this one, so if you want to see that video, tune in for that. I'll also have like sort of a tutorial on this look because I used everything in that set, so I will link that up here when it is up for you guys. But now it is time to zoom in on my face and we can see what we've got going on. I think it still is looking really good. My contour, blush, highlight all blended very easily on top of it. Yeah, so I think that it's looking really good. I do have a little bit of creasing on my forehead, but literally I cannot find a foundation in my life that will not crease in these forehead creases. Apparently they are just very prominent. So other than that, I think it's looking super good. I'm really excited to see how this wears throughout the day. So right now it is 2:27 in the afternoon and I will check back in with you guys in a couple of hours to see how this wears. So I didn't end up doing a midday check-in, but I didn't really feel like it was necessary because I started this review kind of late, so I started at like 1:30. So right now it is 10:57, so right about to be 11 o'clock. So that's a good, what is it, 9.5, something like that hours. I'm always off on my hours because I just don't even think about it. But I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and we can see how this foundation is wearing. I think so far I'm pretty impressed, so I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Okay, so don't mind around my mouth because I did wipe off my lipstick, so it's obviously like taken off around that kind of area, but it looks like it hasn't really faded really at all. I definitely look very oily, especially on my nose and my cheeks, but I told you guys, I don't remember if I told you guys that, maybe I didn't tell you guys that, but that's usually the areas that I get oily, is my nose and the tops of my cheeks. So those are looking pretty oily, but other than that, I mean, my lipstick made such a mess around my lips, I look crazy. Other than that, it doesn't look too bad. It does look a little bit kind of cakey underneath my nose area. I also do think that it sort of accentuates texture a little bit because I can really see the texture on my cheeks and stuff just from acne, things like that. But in terms of like lastability, this is still full on here. It's still full coverage. It hasn't really wiped off of me like pretty much at all. Even on like the bottoms of my cheeks, I can still see product right here, like, and that's usually gone because I sit like this all the freaking time and stuff like that, so that's usually gone, but I can still definitely see product is still there. I mean, this is pretty impressive for a $7 pigment type thing. Like, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with this. So I have to say, my final opinion is that I definitely think these are worth trying out for sure. For only being $7, I do think that this had really pretty good wearability. I also didn't use a setting spray, and I usually use either a setting spray that is more mattifying or one that's more dewy. So with this one, I would probably go with one that's a little bit more mattifying just because it didn't control my oils very well. But I think that if I had a mattifying setting spray, that would definitely help a lot. I also did not repowder my face at all today, and I usually always do. So I didn't repowder my face. I think if I would have repowdered, I would have been totally fine, but I just was lazy and didn't all day because I was just hanging out with Sam and Blake, so they don't care what my face looks like. But yeah, I really like this stuff, and I think I'm definitely gonna keep trying it. I realized earlier that I never smelled this, and I usually smell stuff because, I don't know, that's an important factor. It just smells like foundation. It smells like my Revlon Color Stay or anything like that, but I definitely think that this is worth trying out if you can find it in your shade. I do think that the light one was a really good shade match for my skin tone. I don't think that this oxidized at all, so that's really good as well. I don't know, guys. I think that this is pretty good. I do think that this would be good as a mixer if like your foundation was way too dark for you. You can lighten it up. I think I could do that with this even though this is like my skin tone. I think I could probably, since these are so pigmented, I could mix this in with my foundation and make it lighter if I need to. So Jesus, that came out of nowhere. I'm gonna keep using it for sure and see what kind of stuff I can do with it, and maybe in my monthly haul for September I'll kind of update you guys on how I feel about it after using it for a whole month, and we can see. So that is the end of this lasting impression review. If you liked it, be sure to show some love to the like button down there, and if you subscribe, you can be a member of my Muse family, and I love you guys so much. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys!